Hi everyone, Drini here, and welcome to my channel. So as Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto markets are really starting to recover, a lot of our gaming cryptos, if you notice, are really starting to pick back up. However, like I mentioned in my Pegasi video the other day, one of the common misconceptions about the crypto space is when Bitcoin pumps, everything pumps with it. That is actually not true. There are certain projects that really get left behind. And while it's very easy for me to talk about coins that are pumping, I think the more important conversation to have is really identifying the projects that are not catching up so that at least if you are a token holder for that particular project, we're going to try to inform you of what's happening with its price action, the various options that you may have, so you can have a better decision moving forward. Today, we're going to talk about Bomb Crypto or BCOIN, and I already covered it before in December. And unfortunately, my fears of it being not properly decentralized and supply is being manipulated and controlled are really playing out. So let's dive into the charts to see what we can see, okay? So before I dive into the Bitcoin price action, if you notice right here, back in December, which was 4 months ago, when we made the video about Wilder World versus Bitcoin, the self-reported Bitcoin circulating supply was 10,775,000. Now, the problem with this is self-reported. So just be very, very careful with evaluating projects that have self-reported tokenomics because 4 months ago, it was 10,775,000. And now that it's April, it's still 10,775,000. That alone should already be a red flag that you have to take note of when evaluating projects in the future. Now, going back to the Bitcoin price action, as you can see, this is why I really don't believe the self-reported token supply. Because what's happening here is you have candles that are very, very uniform. This type of uniform price action, even on a downtrend. So even on a downtrend, when you have something very, very uniform like this in the beginning, this means that the 10 million that they self-report that is available in the market is most likely not the case. So for you to properly visualize this, just remember the Bitcoin price action right here and take a look at Wonder Hero. So Wonder Hero's self-reported data is 5,900,000. But when you look at the chart, ever since it launched back in October of 2021, if you notice the price action, do you see something different? The candles and the price action are very chaotic. This is a telltale sign that the market is properly decentralized and there's a lot of buying and trading going on, even during the peak period when the token was just released. So if you notice, there's a lot of very confusing candles where some people are buying, some people are selling, some people are buying, some people are selling. The same cannot be said for Bitcoin right here. This really reeks of a very manipulated price action from October of 2021 all the way until January of 2022. So what's most likely happening is during this particular time period right here, the actual circulating supply that's being traded in the market was very, very low, way less than the 10 million. And now that the particular investors, insiders, or whoever was working on and trading in these price levels right here have gotten their bags, they are most likely already out of the picture, and the ones who have been selling here, these are now the bag holders during this particular run-up right here. So just take a look at the color and even the interaction of the candles from this moment on. You have confused candles with large wicks, small wicks, etc. versus this, which was very uniform, which is really a testament that the 10 million has finally reached the general public once everything has been dumped by these guys. So apart from the massive manipulation that has happened ever since, and this is the reason why I refuse to cover Bitcoin apart from that single video. One of the other things about this project, unfortunately, is we have been rejected off of the 21 EMA, very similar to Pegasi right here. So if you look at the PGX token, it was happily rejected on the 21 EMA right here. Right now, it really appears to start to crater quite significantly. So what you have here is we have just bounced off of this historic floor right here of around 26 cents. But if we keep getting rejected right here, and I really want you to picture what this looks like and take a look at all the other gaming cryptos that we cover. You have Sandbox right here, happily above, Gala, happily above, Polis and Atlas, happily above their respective 21 EMA, AXS, happily above, SLP, even SLP, which is a highly inflationary token, happily above, Alice is way above. Even Blocktopia grew by 39% yesterday or a couple of days ago. CGG, Happily Above, Cryowar, Minds of the Larnia, D-Race, Gods Unchained, Illuvium, New Gold Fever, Polka City, PYR, Wilder World, which was the comparison with BCOIN before, etc., etc. So unfortunately, if you have BCOIN bags, this is really the point where you really have to start evaluating your position and crafting exit strategies moving forward. One exit strategy is depending on where your average price is. Of course, everything we talk about here is not financial advice. But let's say your average price was around here. So let's say $3.72. You can try to wait for it. So for example, this is the current price bottom. Maybe we'll bounce off of this. Hopefully get above the 21 EMA, backtest it as support, go above the 55 EMA, backtest it as support before eventually going back to the price level that you bought it. Honestly though, the key problem with this is how long will this take? Let's say your current portfolio value has really fallen significantly by 80, 90, 95%. And let's say you're only left with 100. Are you willing to wait a couple of years for the possibility that it reaches here, or you might as well put the remaining funds that you have for BCOIN into another project that hopefully has better potential than this could ever have, so that at least you recoup the losses via engaging in another project. So in my Pegasus example, and I'll repeat it here for those of you who haven't watched that video, let's say you have $1,000 worth of BCOIN, and let's say your average price was around here. Your portfolio has fallen, let's say, by around 90-ish%. So the current value of your portfolio is now 100. The first thing that you have to do is reevaluate the objectives of this remaining funds. Don't expect that this 100 will turn into a million, because it's too late for that. Your portfolio value has really dropped significantly. The point here is to salvage it, and your objective has to change from wealth creation to wealth preservation. How can you put this 100 into something else so at least you go break even, or maybe slightly less than that? So you have three options. The first one is, of course, you can put it in Bitcoin. Why? Because this is the asset class that has the least downside risk. You won't get as much gains as others, but you know that your funds are relatively safe and your value will be preserved because Bitcoin, of course, is the most pristine asset in the cryptocurrency space. The second option is you can put it in some layer ones. For example, if you put it in ADA, currently at $1.17, if the projected price for ADA is, let's say, $10, then at least you're going to break even if it goes to $10 somewhere in the future. You just have to wait. The other one, of course, is if you're a really complete degen here, then you put it back on some of the other gaming crypto projects that we cover. Not only can you potentially gain back the money that you lost, but the multiples could be higher. But of course, the risk level of it actually not getting there is also quite high. So you have three options from safest all the way to most risky. As a final note, this is why I'm very, very careful with covering gaming cryptos. There are a lot of gaming cryptos out there that are unfortunately scams. So it really takes a significant amount of time to even build the initial trust for that particular gaming crypto before I even cover it. At the end of the day, let's not give publicity to projects where we feel really do not have any future here. If you're holding BCOIN bags, not financial advice, of course, but I hope that this gives you some information so that you can act accordingly. Whether you will continue to hold, whether you will sell, where you could potentially put those remaining funds, of course, that is up to you. But on my end, at least, I tried to do my part in terms of giving you information at least so that you can make an informed decision in the future.